Oh, dudes and dudettes, say hello to my stinky little friend. And I do mean stinky because you are a stinky some. So I should watch my mouth. You are a stinky little critter. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, but you do like a little sweet potato, huh? So I've been working with this guy for a little while. I say guy. We don't know what the sex is. We won't know until about 6 to 8 months old. Their sexual organs are internal. What I could do is I could take a number of the quills that this guy has left inside my body that we have collected over the past couple of months, and I could send that in for DNA if I wanted to, and that'll give me the sex on the animal within a couple of days. Don't need to. I have another one in the back too. He's a lot bigger than this one. He is a he, and I'll bring him out for the next episode. We're working with him. He came in a little bit older, and believe it or not, he was a lot more calm than this little guy was right here. This little guy came in, still had some fur on him. The quills were still growing out. He's almost to the point where he's got all of his quills. I keep saying he. We're just going to go with that. Where he's got all of his quills, and when they come out, they look like a little hairy mess, but their eyes are open. It's a big baby that's born. I think gestation is like 200 and something days, which is a long period of time. And they're going to have one baby, and that baby does come out again, eyes open, and they wean relatively quickly from mom. And they got their little soft underbelly that they protect. Watch when I touch. And we're working on this. When I touch anything on the sides, he's going to rotate, and he's going to make sure that that bottom is covered. You can see his back is all the way flared up. If I touch his little tail, no, see, there we go. There's one in there right there. And that's as quick and easy as it is. Ow. For him to go ahead and thrust a couple of pins into me. Now, I don't mind, and I don't suggest doing it the same way I do, but in relation to the animals and getting animals tamed, I don't want to say that, it's a good pet. I don't think it's a good pet. This is a very dangerous pet. My dogs are put up right now for obvious reasons if they come over here and put their nose into this animal, which they love to do when they check out any animals and stuff. With the rabbit and all the fluffy stuff, it's okay. With this guy right here, the dogs are going to leave with a bunch of quills in their face. So the dogs are put up right now, and they're probably not too happy about it. But with any animal that I'm trying to form a bond with, I mean, this guy obviously loves his food, so it's easy when you have an animal that's food motivated. You have some animals that are a lot less food motivated than others. Like raccoons is a good example of a heavily food motivated animal. Easier to train because they're always ready to eat whatever it is. These guys too, constantly ready to munch on anything and everything that is available to them, so we have to watch the diet as well. We feed a pretty balanced diet. We do leaf eater, and then every once in a while I'll put a monkey biscuit in there for them as well. And then we do mostly vegetables, but we'll do a little tiny bit of fruit as well. But the balanced diet is super important for them. This animal could come he could get obese real quick. And the reason being is because this thing will eat as long as I let him eat. So he's probably, for the entirety of this episode, going to sit here with the sweet potato. But it does two things for me. Number one, it makes him more comfortable with me being around and everything around him going on. So he's less likely to frill up like he is right now, but he's not going to poke me. So he's letting me know for sure that he can protect himself, but he's comfortable enough at this point where he's not thrusting constantly into me like when I touch his little tail. Beep, beep, beep. Can I have your tail now? Nope, still can't have your tail. So we're working on that. And we slowly go about doing all this stuff. And the reason is a twofold thing. Number one, I don't want to scare him, and I don't want everything that I do to be an aggressive thing. If I got a glove, a big leather glove like my bird glove or something, and went inside his space, his territory every single day and just snatched him up and forced him to be with me, eventually time would basically break him down to the point where he would realize that every time I go in there with a glove, he's coming out no matter what. He's going to lose a bunch of quills all the time until eventually it kind of breaks the animal. We don't want to do that. That's like an old school, archaic way of thought as far as how to train our animals, how to tame these things down, especially with wild animals. A wild animal is a wild animal. This is not domesticated by any stretch of the imagination. That's why I say it doesn't make a good pet, because if you're not willing to take a couple of pokes from this little guy, it's not even worth it to try and get into them. They're gorgeous, and obviously you can see the cutest little face ever. Look at that little munchkin face. Look at that. Look at that big nose right there. What? Is she scaring you? It's okay. Look at that face. Look at that face. Here, you want it? Here, you hold it by yourself. Hold it. Can you hold it? There you go. Here you go. Look at that. Just don't chew on my belly. And Did we do the, was it the other? Here, I'll show you what happens when there's nothing there. He's gonna try and bite me, but once he bites me, and we're working on this, he just thinks he's looking for food. So he'll put his mouth on me, and he does put those rodent-like teeth in there, but you can see no puncture or anything, and then as soon as we go back to his food, he puts the pressure in that it takes to crunch that food up. So we're getting there, and it's just a work in progress, and it's the way that I do things. I don't think that everybody on earth does it the same way that I do. There's many different ways to tame and train an animal. My way is maybe a little bit different than others. Some people do the same thing that I do. I put myself more at risk than I do the animal itself, and I do that for good reason. Number one, I don't think it's fair for him if I go in there and grab him with a glove and terrify him every day until the point where he just submits to the whole situation, because that's basically what it would be. Him submitting, knowing that no matter what he does and no matter how angry he gets, he's gonna have to expel this energy in his quills to basically fight me off on a daily basis until he learns that there's no point in doing it, because the end goal is always going to be the same, where I get him out no matter what, and then he's forced to sit with me, and eventually there will be kind of a relationship formed based on the fact that he gets tired of it, then he realizes it's not doing anything for him, and he stops that behavior. The other way to do it, my preferred method, is to basically put myself at risk. So what I did was, we started slowly, and he would be in his enclosure, I would let him come to me. And then at first, like I said, he would head down, charge, quills, all his head would be straight. Like, let's see if we can get him to poke those quills up a little bit. So he would put all his quills forward and charge like a ball straight towards me and try and jack up my hands or anything that was in there. But what I did was I just started spending a lot of time with him, and don't start whacking me with that thing. I would spend a lot of time with him on his own terms. So he got to come out whenever he wanted to. And if he didn't want to, I didn't force it on him. I didn't go in there and grab him and pull him out or anything like that. And I think that creates a stronger bond, a stronger relationship, because instead of it being a negative interaction every time we do something, it's a positive interaction. He knows that he's going to come out, he'll get some food, he gets to hang out, he knows I'm not going to hurt him, yet he's still at the stage where he's lifting quills, letting me know that if he needs to, he can 100% do a lot of damage. And obviously the porcupine has a special set of quills. See what I did there? And basically, for any predators, this is a nightmare animal to get a hold of. You get a hold of this, and even that little quill that you saw me pull out with my teeth, that thing is stuck in there. It's not just a little tiny prick that comes right out. It's barbed up pretty good, so you gotta, even though it didn't go in very far, I gotta pull pretty hard to get that out of my skin. So you can imagine if this thing unloaded a couple of hundred of those into my hand or into a predator's face. So they're built on the extreme level of protection. He's got a soft underbelly, so this guy will curl up into a ball if anything tries to come after him, but also they are pretty incredibly strong. When it comes to the tail, they can hold full body weight with that tail. That's why a boreal species, prehensile tail, and you can see just like all the other prehensile animals, it's okay, bud. It's okay. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do anything. So you can see he still doesn't like his tail being touched, and he's got these out here, and these are the danger zones. That's the danger zone. And that prehensile tail has nothing towards the back end. It's more like a digit. So just like most of the other animals that we see that have these prehensile tails, they'll have a little bit of space right there where there's no fur, there's no nothing. It's basically like the skin of a digit. Can I just show them? I just want to show them. So you can see there's fur on the outside. On the inside ring of there's no fur right there. And this is all quill, and then to the back end, it's very soft. These guys aren't quilly. Okay, bud. I see you trying to stab me. And it's interesting because he's gotten to the point where it's okay that I touch him all over his quills. He'll even frill up that back end there. And he does nothing about it, but I touch that tail and he's all angry. And I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it. So hopefully I would say probably within the next month, 2 months of consistently just working with this guy, eventually he'll lay those quills down all the way together. So you won't see him poked up anymore. It'll be basically laid back all the way down like a pretty little guy. And as he grows, he'll probably get a funny hairdo up top. What if I put this over here? How about that? Why don't you go walk around a little bit? Go walk around. Go. And you can see I'm letting him do whatever he wants on his own terms, and I'm not going to grab after him or anything like that. I will pet him on a consistent basis just to let him know, like, hey, we're over here. We're hanging out. That's all good stuff. And then you can see he's getting a little angrier now because he's looking for his foodsies. Here, you want that? We'll see what you do. But an animal like this, again, like I said, not a pet by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like a hedgehog. A hedgehog is not going to leave you with the quills in there. They just ball up and it's pokey. It hurts a little bit. So many kids, I had hedgehogs growing up. That's the better route to go if you want anything like this. These guys can release those quills, cause a lot of damage. You can get infections, especially if you get a whole bunch of those in you. And I don't know if we have video from the other day. Do we have video from the other day? I think we have a couple. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and edit a little piece of this into it because it doesn't take that long as far as just clipping a few things together. So I'll see if I have the video where he left a bunch of quills all over my groin area and inside my leg when we were first starting to work with him. And that's the danger of it too, is like he's on top of me. If he really wants to, he could rush over to me. He could stab me in the belly. If he wants to, he could rush towards my face. He could stab me in the face. He could stab me in the neck. So there's a bit of danger in there, but he is a small little guy. He's still got a lot of room to grow. These guys can get anywhere from 4 to 15 pounds. So you really have to think about that. He's probably maybe 2 pounds right now, if that. And then he's going to grow probably to yay big, maybe a little bit bigger than that. And again, most of their time spent in trees. They're said to range a pretty long distance as far as things go, and they're said to, as far as research goes, they're said to, not roost in any particular tree for long periods of time. So every night they'll find a different tree, a different spot. And I think that might be more for the protection of them, and then also possibly to find a mate as well. A lot more research on my end needs to be done on these guys. As far as care and husbandry and where they come from and the basic facts, I got that dialed down. But I like to dig super deep into the animals to find out, everything about them, and then the subspecies, all the other species that go along with it. I believe there's like 15 to 20 different porcupines when it comes to South America. And these guys, to me, have always been incredibly interesting, especially with that cute little button nose right there. Let me get that button. Oh, let me get that button nose. Let me get that little button nose. Yeah. So extremely cute. And I know a lot are going to ask if everybody would want to cuddle this thing. I mean, who wouldn't want to cuddle this thing? But it does take a lot of time, and it did take a lot of jabs before I could get to the point where I could even do this. And you can see he's still very uncomfortable with the tail. So slowly but surely, what I'll do is just keep trying where it's not, I don't like, here, I'll show you. So I'll go for a slow touch here, and then if he drags away, I'll let it go. We'll try again tomorrow. So I'm not going to continuously try and grab that tail. Obviously, he's still uncomfortable with his back end. The front end was hard enough to get him to chill out and kind of focus on his food and not so much me. But let's take the food away before we end this episode. I know. I'm going to give it back. I'm going to give it back. I'm going to give it back. Put it over there, and let's see what you do. Go ahead. Walk around. Constantly looking for food, little dude. Here. Come. What happened? Where'd it go? Don't aim those towards my face, bruh. What is it? What happened? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's over there. Go get it. Go get it. Watch, he's gonna start gnawing on my hand. Go get it, bud. Go get it, bud. And then to pick him up, what we have to do is basically, oh, you gonna say hello? All right, so let's get him picked up here. So this is what we do to pick him up. Come on. Come. So I have to let him walk on his own terms. Again, the underbelly, he's gonna protect at all costs. So that is one of the hard parts with this guy, is because I don't wanna grab his tail and pick him up. I can't. Little booger, that's not the food, bro. It's in my hand. Look. It's up here. For as smart as you are. So what I want to do is I want to get him to crawl onto my hand. Look, this way. Look. Takes a little bit. And this is where patience comes in. Don't bite a vein or something like that. But I want him to crawl on by himself. You got some itches? Come on. Because if I lift up under his belly, he's gonna most definitely turn sideways and he's gonna jerk me, because they want to protect that soft underbelly. So what we're gonna do, see how he's turning to the side right now? Like if I push a little bit on this side, he starts to lean into it. And if I push a little bit on this side, he starts to lean into it, and then he gets upset. Up top is all good. Nope, we don't want you next to the face. Not yet. Soon. Soon we'll let you up there. I don't want you stabbing me in my carotid. Meh, meh. Meh, 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 meh. All right, can we end the episode? Can we do that? Here, come this way. Come, 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 come. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and back him up with the food here. Watch. Here, look, 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 look. Oh, 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 look, he's trying to roll over. Come on, come on. What, do we have to spend all day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn this into an 8-hour episode. Go ahead, get on the arm. Go on.
Not on that one.
Hey, Booger. Don't start that bullshit. Don't start that bullshit. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Hey, now. Don't. Don't, butthead. Are you shaking at me, huh? Are you shaking at me? Are you shaking at me, monster? Still, look at that. That thing is like the cutest thing on earth. I don't care how many times you poke me. I literally dug one. I'm not even going to say it. I dug one out of places that you guys would not want to know. But there's kids that watch this, so I'm not going to say it. I'm sure the adults can guess. I was walking around and I had a load of these things in my pants and in my leg when we first started this, because what would happen is basically the little guy was comfortable enough, but you could see he still gets an attitude. So we have to work with him on his terms. So he was comfortable enough to come out, and then, it's a timing thing too. And you can see he's starting to get a little bit more upset, and that's when we want to get him back to his spot so he can calm down. Oop, we don't want him on there. No, because you'll get stuck. So it's reading your time limit too. So the animal itself, whenever we do any training or anything like that, I'm going to do it in like 5 to 10 minute intervals, because I don't want the animal to get frustrated. I don't want to get frustrated. If I get frustrated myself, they're going to feel it, and then it doesn't help with any of the training that we have going on. And this isn't even real training. This is just simple acclimation to the surroundings, acclimation to me, and basically letting him know that, hey man, everything's okay. We're here to chill. We're here to hang out. But it's still on a time schedule. It's on his time, and you can see he's starting to get a little bit upset. So what I want to do is we want to end on a good note. So if I can get you over here, big boy. Look, he's starting to lean into it. And he'll still test. That's not foodsies. It's right here. The good part about him is he's figured out, as far as the biting and stuff like that, it's not a real bite. You could tell the difference real easy. If I could get you to come up over here. Come on. Here, look, follow. And then later on, once he's completely relaxed all the way through, and I know that he's not going to fire anything out or get uncomfortable by any situations, like once we could touch the tail and have him where he doesn't fill up his back, then we'll move on to maybe some station training, some things that'll help if he ever needs to go to the vet, where we could basically get to his belly without him freaking out, all that good stuff. Basically some conditioning. Maybe we'll get him to stand in one spot, stand up so I can touch that belly. Different things that are of practical use. So it's not necessarily training him to do tricks. It's training him to do things that way in case he needs medical attention. We're not dealing with a pokey ball where it's hard, because you got to imagine too, like if we have to put him under where he goes to sleep, to put a mask on this thing would be virtually impossible, because he'd be stabbing you nonstop. So anything that we can do to get him lifted up so that I can get to the belly or the back end, or so we could check the eyes, the nose, the teeth, the whole 9 yards, all of that helps. So training also goes into practical functions of what we're going to do in the life of this little buddy. All right, so I'm going to scoop under. Yeah. All right, so we got a belly now, and he's still focused on the food. And then I'm going to lift. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. Come on. I know. I just need your back feetsies. We got you halfway there. Yep. Come this way. Come this way. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can see he's still a little uncomfortable to put that back foot up on me. There you go, bud. Good job. It's okay. That's okay. Hold on. Hold on. Here, hold it. There you go. Good job, bud. All right. So now he'll use his tail to hold on. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Good job, buddy. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. You got a little poker in me.
Oh, big one.
You got a little poker in me. All right, let me put this guy up real quick before he starts climbing on me. And then I'll be right back and I'll show you the quill that he gave me as a present. All right, ready? Tell him, bud. Here, out on the shirt. Boom.